Welcome everyone to live coverage of the China Dota 2 Super Major Grand Final. That's right, we have made our way through 9 days of competition, all the way to the Grand Final of the very last final of the Dota Professional Circuit season. It's been an incredible season, and appropriately perhaps, two of the most dominant teams on the circuit have made their way to the Grand Final. It's Team Liquid versus Virtus Pro, and we've also got an all-star lineup on the panel, as you'd expect. Nahaz, Black, and Capitalist joining me to give their thoughts. How you doing, gents? Ready for the Grand Final?
Yes.
It's
very much so.
Just before we get into the two teams, like it has been a long season. It started all the way back in September. You, my friend, have done more events talent-wise than anyone else in the world.
It's been a long season. Honestly, I was super surprised when I heard like Secret did like 15 events or something.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
you did
that
what,
must be
19?
exhausting as a player.
18?
I think 17,
okay.
maybe 17,
right.
18, somewhere around. Yeah. Honestly, I don't keep track. It's just a
Can't
blur
keep
of
track.
Dota, you know.
Yeah, it's been a very long season, but it's
fun.
been fun.
Oh, unbelievably fun.
Yeah.
And you could not have written a better script
Thanks,
for today.
Gabe. Nice script.
Over 200 combined DPC LAN wins between these two teams. 8 titles out of 21 events. Out of the 21 events this season, these two teams have been in the grand finals of 11 of them. More than half. That's, to me, unbelievable.
The other unbelievable thing as well, Black, is that Virtus Pro have reached 5 grand finals this season, 1 minor, 4 majors, and won them all.
Yeah. Are they going to win another one is the question.
Yes.
Because Liquid seems to be quite formidable right now. Yesterday, they were unstoppable.
Okay, but we'll get into this real quickly. But which team do you think actually looks better? The team that lost a series because they gave away Wiz 2 times in a row, or who won a series because they got Tinker 2 times in a row? I think it's pretty even. For me, I think this matchup is going to be super fun, and the history behind it has...
I mean, that's the thing, right? They're 23-20 all-time, head-to-head. Liquid with the edge, 23-20. This season, they're 2-2 in series and 7-6 in games to Liquid. So super tight, and we know that if there's any team out there that Virtus Pro want to play and want to prove themselves against, it's always been Team Liquid.
Yes, absolutely. I think pretty much every single team that that has already dropped out of the Super Major looks at these two teams, and they're the teams that they want to challenge themselves against. Even if Liquid, maybe hadn't shown the same form that Virtus Pro has, and when it comes to actually winning tournaments, they're still acknowledged as easily one of the best teams out there, still in the top 3, here at the top 2, and I think that everyone has a deep respect for what this team has accomplished, being able to maintain an air of dominance despite winning TI, which is usually the downfall for most of these professional teams.
Yeah. All right, okay. Going to get more from both of you in just a moment, but let's introduce you to our grand final teams.
They entered the DPC as reigning TI champions, and the Super Major has proved their reign is far from over. Flawless in the playoffs, Kuroky's drafts have been superb, and Miracle back to his best here in Shanghai. Kings of the Minors, the final chapter of the DPC is about to be written, and they are primed and ready to be the heroes. Stage, Team Liquid. The Emperors of the DPC enter their final battle here at the Super Major. They have defeated 2 of their 3 biggest rivals, Secret and PSG LGD, but one still remains, the reigning TI champions. With no better stage and no better adversary to proclaim themselves as the best team in the world, victory here would be the perfect end to the perfect season. Stage, Virtus Pro.
The reigning international champions against the reigning DPC champions. They can't be caught as far as DPC points are concerned. They will finish #1 on the Dota professional circuit. So what a clash between these two. I guess, Alan, one of the other questions many fans will have is this a dress rehearsal for the international itself ahead?
Across all sports, across all levels of competition, what makes a great rivalry? The first ingredient is two historically good teams. This Liquid squad has the highest win percentage ever of any squad that's competed in 200-plus professional Dota 2 games, just ahead of the TI4 era Titan squad that featured KYXWay, Ohio, and Yamate on the 3 cores. This VP squad, 4 of these players, minus Roger, have the highest 4 win rates ever for any players to spend more than a year with the same professional franchise. And the other thing is the respect and the ability to bring out the best in each other all season long. Virtus Pro is being asked about Secret. They're being asked about LGD. What's your rivalry with this guys? And in interviews all season long, they've consistently said, no, we're looking at Liquid.
Yep, every time. Black, obviously having played for many big teams, did you ever experience that close rivalry with another team? Was there a team that kind of annoyed you, or you didn't like their play style, or you really wanted to beat?
I think the closest I've ever gotten to that, for like a longer period at least, was back then in like mouse sports around the TI3 era, where we would always play Na'Vi or Alliance, one of the two. That was pretty much like the only 3 teams that were really doing well in Europe at the time. But other than that, maybe in China during the VG era, like Newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were our like strongest opponents at the time. And one more thing that no one said in an interview lately. At first he said Liquid is their biggest rival. They really look forward to playing them. But then just recently, he said Liquid is really bad right now. Remember that in an interview? And they're gonna face them now.
But
Liquid's
I think
coming from the winner bracket.
Yeah.
It's going to be juicy.
I think before this tournament, Liquid themselves have been saying that. All of the Liquid players that I talked to said, look, we're not happy with our level of play.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to GH a little bit yesterday, Kat, but in your opinion, what's been the difference from Birmingham, which was their worst event of the entire season, and their run through the upper bracket here, which has been flawless?
I think the meta has been changing pretty fast, and to be a top-tier team when you're traveling to all these events, sometimes it's hard to keep up, and I think that they finally found themselves a pretty good hold on what the meta is about and the drafting behind it. I think that they're, like I mentioned Tinker earlier, I feel like Team Liquid are the first team to really point out the obvious strength of this hero. Feels incredibly dominant and really wasn't picked that much early on in this tournament, and I think it's going to be shown here in the Grand Finals as well. I think that there are just other little things about their drafting. Their openers, I think, are very strong. I feel like Liquid have identified that you want to be able to put a threat on the board when it comes to your opening 2, but still remain nebulous enough that they're able to kind of hide what exactly the objective of their draft is going to be. Just a lot of little things, I think, about Liquid that finally looks right. You know, I said, GH said we're at 60%. Well, this is looking like a Liquid that's more like 80%.
Yeah, and in terms of it's the last major of the season, there's nothing else after it. There's nothing for the top 8 teams to play in other than maybe a summit. They've got potentially 2 months now of waiting and hanging around. So how much has that played on their mind of, come on, we've got to focus. It's the last chance to win a major. We put a lot of stock on that whole we want to win a major. But GH genuinely wants to win a major.
I think
and I know this team does.
The big difference this year versus the preceding years, first of all, you have this long off period for these 2 teams between now and the international. So nobody's worried about giving away strats. And there's, you know, Cap mentioned the meta. I don't think I've ever seen a tournament of this level where there have been so many like 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or more out drafts, right? There is so much yet to be discovered with patches every 2 weeks in this meta. Teams aren't worried about saving strats. This is, we want to make a statement now. Virtus.pro are saying, okay, guys, we want to set that all-time record with 5 majors and make that statement that we are the favorites. Liquid want to say, no, we're back. We're going to be ready to defend our title.
Another proof that this meta is still being discovered is look at the splash that Bloodseeker made at this tournament, right? And that was mid-tournament. It wasn't like a team came into this and was like, here's our strat, like it's going to destroy everything. It was actually kind of like, felt like it was figured out and other teams started grabbing it up real quickly. Again, it just feels like everything's being uncovered, and that's exactly what I believe Dota 2 in these tournaments should be about. In the double elimination, best of 3 process, you want to be able to, because Dota, unlike most other esports, I feel like has the strongest focus on strategy that many other team esports have, right? And so to really be able to dig into that strategy, you need to be able to have that process of trial and error and be able to look at the successes of some teams and the failures of others and be able to learn from them. And we're seeing the 2 teams that have probably gleaned the most out of everyone else's failures throughout this tournament, VP and Team Liquid.
And to also emphasize on the ever-developing meta right now, VP didn't draft Tinker this tournament, I think, but then Liquid drafted it twice, and then they just take it out in the loser bracket final. No one's an amazing Tinker. I was surprised he hasn't played at this tournament. And then of course he just completely dominates the game.
Yeah.
And when it comes to drafting, we spoke about how difficult second pick is, but Liquid makes it look really good for them because the 4 heroes they have is just so open. They can do anything. They have usually very little holes in their draft, and then their last pick usually just complements it perfectly. I'm really looking forward to their first pick actually more than their second pick now, because their second pick looked really strong. I don't know about their first pick yet.
Well, it's as Cap said before, I think Liquid have figured out that as second pick, the 2 things you have to do, you have to put a strong aggro dual lane on the board, and you have to have at least one, and preferably both of those heroes have really strong flex value. That has been Liquid's open through most of the tournament. They have occasionally opened a core, so not showing that dual lane combo, but it's for the last couple times they've gone to that, it's just felt so stable.
Yep, couldn't agree more.
The other thing that I think, by the way, in this tournament is you've seen the pressure. It's mounted as the tournament's gone on, and this is something that you ordinarily only see at TI, at events during the season. It's such a long event. By the end of the event, ease of execution matters, and you have these heroes like Tinker that kind of slip through and get forgotten about.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think that both of these teams have their individual flavor to them. Both of these teams have some specific things. Like I'll point to say the Pango, right?
Yes.
I think one team can definitely run a very strong Pango strategy, and I think Liquid, they're not going to be able to do the same kind of thing. But Liquid does have some other things that they're able to run that are dangerous that VP just can't. So it is going to be quite the clash of styles, and I think to get the overall here is that I love the fact that this matchup. It doesn't feel like there's an underdog, right? It feels like a very even matchup, in part because the story builds to that, because of the fact that we've got Liquid, who are the TI champs, and VP, who are the DPC champs. There's no question about those 2.
Right.
Our first draft is upon us for the grand final. These things often have a meta of their own in best of 5s.
Banning out the Leshrac?
You can, I was just going to say, you can already see the second pick drafting philosophy of Liquid taking away that Leshrac that is a part of so many threatening aggro dual lane combos and has probably as much or more flex value than any other hero in the tournament right now.
Yep. As well as the Skywrath and Disruptor. Solo loves the Skywrath.
Which does mean we're going to be leaving the Bane, Night Stalker.
There's a lot. Zeus, if they want to pick it.
I'm a little bit surprised about the Bane. It's funny how the Bane and Disruptor have similar numbers here at this tournament and very opposite results. One has been a very successful hero in the form of the Bane, in part because VP, it's kind of one of their favorite heroes, and they're in the grand final, so of course it's going to have a high win rate. But the Disruptor, which Liquid are still scared of because the combinations that are successfully run by certain teams to make the Disruptor look good, whereas other teams who have tried to pick it do not pick the same combinations and make the hero look bad.
Now, this is another thing. I am really curious to see whether VP will go back to the Pango, because they had a match yesterday where they ran that Pangolier against the Naga Siren, and it actually looked like a Naga counter.
It did,
You exploit. Naga is a hero that has come back so strong in the meta because it potentially isolates and punishes those early BKBs. But when you have that Pangolier that can roll into Song with his ult, it looks like it offsets a lot of that. And no, VP's going to go for Pasha on the Beastmaster, and they'll pick up that Bane.
But the Naga Pang, I think, can go both ways. Because if you sleep, you net him. You literally just right-click him with any range carry and he dies.
Rolling,
Exactly. And of course, Bane as well as Beastmaster, very strong potential for an aggro dual lane. Bane can save, help your mid lane, can help you save lane, can do pretty much everything. Very contested pick this tournament.
The Liquid threat when they put forward the Naga Siren in the last game that they did was the Mirana, right?
Yes.
I feel less comfortable about the
Mirana
Mirana
and
with
Visage.
Beastmaster and Bane.
Visage
Maybe
was the
Visage
other
is
one.
better.
Yeah, this is the other thing that most teams, when they're picking a first phase Naga, there's the Visage, okay? Most teams, when they're picking the first phase Naga, they want that combo here, the Disruptor or the Jakiro with it. Liquid, because their first pick, understands the importance of showing a fourth pick flex core. You have to respond as VP. You have to respond to this Visage with a 5th or a 7th overall pick core, and that's where Liquid knows that they're going to have a strong counter pick because a lot of the heroes in the pool that counter Visage very vulnerable to counter picking themselves.
I actually think Visage is also really good against both of the heroes of VP. You can use the birds to kill the hawk. Otherwise, you could just like sit over trees. Can't really do it right now. You can cancel the grip, can cancel the sleep. Beastmaster raw animation, very long too. You usually get the stun off before you actually raws anyone. I really like that pick.
I think they're like Visage is almost always good against these single target lineups, right?
Oh, yeah.
You've got like Bane and Beastmaster single target disables that this AoE control of the birds that are not going to be disabled can always just cut through you. Halt all your progress. I honestly, I feel like this matchup, like part of it is going to be a bit of a dare on the Tinker and who's going to let it through in the 3-4. And, you know, if you have first pick, then I feel like you do have a bit advantage with the fourth pick Tinker and the fact that there's only one hero. And I feel like the reason I keep bringing up this Tinker is I'm watching the strength of it recently, and it feels like when you're first pick and you pick it fourth, it means the enemy team only has one hero to counter it, and I feel like it's a core that one hero by itself isn't good enough.
And the other thing about it is that, you know, you look at the lineups that Liquid ran the Tinker with, including a Visage Leshrac lineup, Tinker Tricore lineup. They're going to make you, if you commit to that Tinker, they're going to make you trade multiple heroes, put multiple heroes in danger, and if those heroes all die killing the Tinker, they're still going to take your structures.
Now, how you want to approach Tinker or play against Tinker is you need one core that can catch him out and kill him by himself. A hero that does not need other heroes to commit on him with him.
Right.
That's why Storm is so good against him. Even Zeus is very good against him.
Yeah, and they tried, remember, LGD tried to do that with the Ember Spirit, but it's so hard because the Ember Spirit's not going to have that great lane. He's not going to have the items he needs to solo the Tinker.
Actually, Liquid last picked the Tinker in that game because they understand the Ember Spirit can never solo kill a Tinker.
It
was perfect.
It's just so great. So again, it's, you know that one of your second phase picks against Liquid needs to be the Naga combo. So if they show the Sand King, which is a flex pick, you're not going to counter that. You just pick up the Naga counter. You wait up. VP is going to have to show something here that is good against the Visage. Liquid will counter it with the 8th overall.
Hopefully. Or they won't use the first pick advantage.
Oh, it's Kuro, man.
I think it was toss-up in my head between Jakiro and Warlock. I think Warlock's a bit better at dealing with the pressure that Beastmaster aggro dual lanes puts forward, but Jakiro's a little bit more offensive in nature, and obviously combos a bit better, I would say, with the Naga Siren in that instant disable.
Yeah. Although a sleep setup into a full channel upheaval can also be very devastating.
That's the combo that I like.
It is insane.
The only thing I'll say is heroes that I've liked against the Naga recently have been heroes like Elder Titan or Warlock that have that long-range counter-initiation option. They can counter-initiate from outside of Song. All right, you don't necessarily have anybody like that on the VP side.
Yeah, the biggest issue with Naga combos is you gotta be able to stun the combo hero. Like if you can stomp the Jakiro with an Elder Titan, as you said, for example, the entire sleep is just wasted.
Right.
And then they have nothing left. And then they're actually very vulnerable. But as you said, they have nothing right now, and ET doesn't really fit the lineup anymore anyways.
I mean, that's why having Sand King is nice, right? Being able to have such a fast initiator to put either overwhelm Naga Siren lineups before they can actually get off the song or to counter-initiate as they try and set up.
But to do that, right, the big thing that hinges on is the vision advantage. So watch that vision game. Kuro with 8 D wards last night in the first 20 minutes of their game. Those wards are going to be hotly contested, and you can already see based on just the picks, the Visage and the Beastmaster, how much value these two teams are putting into vision.
Night Stalker is still out there too.
That's a no-one Invoker? Are you serious?
Fourth pick too.
They've
Even
got
though
a
last
lot
pick.
of setup for it.
Yeah,
they really do.
I'm a bit afraid though for the lane.
That is the Well, the laning phase is going to be okay for you until the Visage gets familiars, but I think that's one of the downsides of having this Visage is that it's a hero that doesn't actually apply pressure.
If they put it mid.
If they put it mid. But we could switch it up.
Exactly.
Is this the first Invoker on no one for like 7 months?
Yes, it is. Yes,
so
sir.
They'll put the Visage against the Beastmaster lane and switch to...
They want to give Miracle a good lane in the mid lane.
Yep.
Like, what do you like here, Black?
What? Apparently
You're playing against the Invoker.
Invoker, yeah. You want to dominate him in lane.
You like TA or something?
No one. Yeah, TA is of course very good against Invoker. We have just seen Tinker completely destroy an Invoker. Although for me personally, I feel like Tinker should lose to Invoker 1v1 because it was a pure 1v1. So I'm not entirely sold on that matchup.
Yeah.
But if you really just want to pressure him a lot on lane, something like a TA is the best. Maybe even a Phantom Lancer, you can really pressure him with ganks coming in.
And it was, as Paul said, 7 months ago in Dream League play was the last that no one played Invoker. To go before that, you have to go all the way back to the International last year.
Yeah. Liquid are refusing to show their...
What about a Matumba Brute Mother right here against an Invoker?
Just straight up into the Invoker?
Yeah, just
straight up.
So VP would have to run like Beastmaster or something, or their last pick would have to deal with the Brood Mother.
Yeah, but then you have like an offlane Invoker or something. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, that would feel bad.
That's the problem with Invoker. If you ever face Brood, you have to actually face the lane. Because side lane Invoker is just weak.
Well, we're going to find out.
They go for the TA.
Yeah, the TA, the classic counter. So yeah, and there are so many of the heroes that like used to counter TA. Like Viper's a really good example. That's such a trap pick to me right now because you draft Viper for the Viper TA matchup, and Viper's actually a pretty weak laner right now, or at least not the lane dominating force he once was.
The problem with Viper is you just get out-denied, honestly.
Right.
You have no damage elasted anymore. The Nether Toxin was so important to your kid back then. Now you're just a lane bully.
Now, VP, the way they've set up this draft is they're trying to give Ramses a big advantage when it comes to his lane.
Yes.
Because Liquid here are going to have to... I don't think they wanted to do this. I think they wanted to be able to see what that safe lane hero was first.
Yeah.
Because now they have to pick their off laner. I feel like they do need sort of an aggressive initiator. Liquid's lineup is set to really be able to just roll over VP. Yeah, the Doom, I guess. Doom versus Invoker.
There might be a VP Gyrocopter coming in, creating space for the Invoker, and the Alacrity Gyrocopter is very strong against the Visage as well.
Yep.
And you can chew through that refraction really quickly with the Rocket Barrage.
Yep.
It's a danger of picking, like, say something like, you can't fit it in, but like an Axe or some very lane-dependent offlaner. All of a sudden you're facing a Gyro or a safe lane Venomancer, and you don't get that strong lane that you need to get, and you just fall apart and you aren't a hero in the mid-game.
Yeah, you probably don't look at it like a very greedy core like a Luna. Luna Invoker works. If you ever get to mid-late game, you completely destroy them. But getting there is the hard part.
Remember, though, that VP does run a number of the traditional off-lane heroes in the safe lane role. They will run the Omni Knight, the Doom, which is probably why the Doom gets run in the safe lane role by them, as well as Liquid showed Miracle on it in the last tournament.
Probably the most traditional one right now, for me at least, would be the Gyrocopter.
Perfect.
Really, Darkseer.
Lane shove.
Darkseer and Naga,
good
dual lane,
lane shove, team fight. It's, man, this is a really nice draft by Kuro. And Solo has, I can't emphasize enough Solo. I guess Ramses is now doing the drafting in theory, but I'd imagine everybody has input. VP has been the best 10th pick team this DPC season by far.
So Faces Void or Gyrocopter?
Oh, you can't pick Void into Naga. That's...
It has happened before and it was okay.
Ish. I'm always, I thought of the Void like that's doubling down on team fight for VP, but that Chrono just feels, it feels really, really weak against the Song.
Do you not like the Venom? Is it
because
Venom
of the Darkseer? Yeah, no, of course Venom would be like more a VP like special.
Yeah.
Or Liquid also really likes it, but like if you look at a more standard draft, it would be like a Gyro or like a Void, more like a carry hero. You can like transition into late game well. Juggernaut.
A Jug, all right, tempo.
Yep.
Pretty much
like
Gyrocopter. The
Gyrocopter.
slowness of that Invoker. Yep.
One of its biggest problems is damage in the mid game, and the Alacrity provides that for you.
But you do have, like, you can't just spin and go for TP plays.
Right.
There's a lockdown, the Naga Siren. You have Visage Familiars that your Omni Slash is going to feel ineffective against, as well as the...
and you can't man fight TA.
TA
will just blow you up.
Is really hard to play. They wanted just some sort of like, why do you think they didn't go for Gyro? Because they did need something that was just aggressive, and Jug fills that role.
I think just because of the lane. Like, Darkseer does not lane very well against Jug because you have the healing ward, you can just sustain yourself, and Gyro will feel very pressured, but I think mid-late game, Gyro will be way better than the Juggernaut.
It's also a damage type distribution. They need physical damage, and they need it early.
All right. Well, it's only the third Juggernaut pick of the game. Of
tournament.
the tournament, sorry.
What are the stats on that?
Is that 50%? Played 2, 1-1, lost 1. Alan?
It's tough when VP's red hot, but I think Liquid's got the better draft. They'll draw first blood in the series.
Okay. Black?
Yeah, I think I'll have to go VP the first game too. Liquid, sorry.
Okay.
Liquid.
We just confused production there,
yeah.
Black.
All right, okay. Cap?
Well, then I'll just start this series off with Panel Curse and go Liquid as well.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. 3 out of 3 then. They've all agreed here. Very agreeable moves they are as we start things off in the grand final. Game 1, let's head into the arena with your commentary team to see who comes out on top between Virtus Pro and Team Liquid.
You know, I'd love to know the answer to that, who will come out on top, but really, I'm going to love the path, the journey that brings us there, Kyle. I got the matchup that I was kind of looking for. Maybe not with the crowd, as well, no, China in the grand final, but VP and Liquid been playing some amazing Dota throughout this competition.
Yeah, I don't think you can ask for more. Final major of the circuit, Liquid versus VP, 2 teams. Like, I think their series at this last TI, even though it was, I think, it was like lower bracket round 4. You know, it wasn't even a loser finals or anything. It was still probably the premiere of the entire event. They have a ton of mutual respect, and I mean,
a ton of mutual respect when the first thing you see written up there in the chat log is along the lines of "Only TI winners can talk to you?" ? And that was from Kuro. That was directed at Kuro, saying "Only you can talk to me." They muted everybody else. Solo, little bit of trouble. The Double Dragon's going to work, but this is not Double Dragon. This is Dota. And Solo will decide to back off. He's got a lot more friends up on top lane, so let's just get our bearings before we start off. So I always love this Double Dragon lane from Team Liquid. So it's the Visage plus the Chikuro on top lane from Tumblr and Kuro. That goes against the off-lane Beastmaster of Pasha, the roaming SK of Roger. Cannot wait to see more of his plays. But Solo in towards the mid. The Bane starting with Miracle and No One going up against each other. And then down at the bottom is the roaming GH. Nagasara, and then Ramses and Mind Control wrap up our lanes with the Darkseer versus the Juggernaut, that 5th pick coming in from VP, as we were all questioning, like, what the hell did they get to wrap up their lineup?
yeah, Jug lanes well against the Darkseer, but
Solar?
he's
fine. Real careful. He's real fine until he gets hit by Sideblade. And he got the brain sap off, so gets life back.
Yeah, you just don't want to play Jug into Visage or TA. They both output tons of raw physical damage, and your spin is just not very effective, especially when you consider he's playing against Naga too. It's just very difficult. I like that they put the Bane mid. TA punishes this Invoker really hard if left to just 1v1, but you know, Naga's kind of just here as well. I think TA is less XP dependent than an Invoker.
I can't believe we've actually moved into a dual lane mid. Matumba really low on top, starts to salve up. Pasha's in pretty deep, has his TP of his own. Kuro, no point up in Ice Bar, so he's not going to get away, but it's just his negative armor and Miracle. After he was able to hit level 2 and had Refraction, he's just been trying to pummel into either Solo or No One. Force more support, force more friends. A quick Nightmare from Solo. Damn, he's good on this hero. GH turns around. He wants to try and kill off Solo, but with Brain Sap, that's just going to be impossible. Miracle's so low too. You got the Force Spirit working with him. But Miracle's back up the hill and will burn the salve. But first blood to Virtus Pro.
Really well played by Solo there. Maybe a slight misplay by GH. A little bloodthirsty early on. Wants to start this series off strong. Part of the strength of Bane and why we see it picked up so often. I mean, look at the base stats. Level 2, he's got 65 damage. No stat items. 5 armor, 7 when he's next to the tower.
Such a comfort hero for a player like Solo. How many times throughout this tournament have we said this Bane Nightmare's a target, and they've instantly forced the enemy team to switch the targets because of it? We saw it used perfectly there. Top lane, Ensnare, into Riptide. GH using those early levels with a Soul Assumption damage. They have enough to kill off Pasha. And Roger Burrow straight forward, so he initiated in. But Team Liquid have no more control to give. So burn down the life on Roger. He'll have to salve that off. Now out of health consumables, but a revenge kill in for Team Liquid. Down
bottom, Mind Control's doing quite well. Difficult for Juggernaut to last in under tower, just because there's so much pressure from the ion shells, but
Cole snaps in mid. Miracle. He's getting back underneath the tier 1 tower, but they've already got enough damage to kill him. A great ensnare from GH, but here we go again. The Nightmare onto no one. GH should have the physical damage, and yeah, he does. Gets through the Invoker. So more levels, more money in for GH, but Miracle, not the death that he's looking for, because they want to snowball with the TA, right? Like the TA is meant to get out of control.
yeah, I think you have a little, you don't have as much pressure in this kind of game because I think that you win team fights as the game continues. You always have that Song Jakiro combo and Visage to apply pressure for you. I think it's one of those rare games where TA isn't forced to just play make. You can kind of just relax, shove lanes, farm some ancient stacks.
Kuro's hurting on top, but he'll be okay. Roger and Pasha is just a Burrow Strike into Axis, both of those at level 2, so both hurting. Quite a fair chunk for a Jakiro.
Yeah. You can see though, I love the sleep play mid though. You were just talking about it, but VP, these two teams, they make you work for everything. That was one last hit away from just escaping and saving his Invoker. I think that tower shot was really the main reason. I'm surprised they didn't drop aggro.
He's got the ensnare. Now they're going to hold him in position. A quick Burrow Strike away. Riptide was still able to connect, but this will make it difficult for Roger to finish what he tried to start doing, which is to pull the creep wave in behind the tower. He went the long way around past the shrine, so really did miss this timing quite heavily. All he can do is actually soak the experience up underneath the tier 2. He can't hold it there, not enough life.
Bit of an understatement. He's almost dead, but I mean, it's fine.
Well, this is a nice way to get through TA, right?
Yeah.
You get the Ice Wall, now you get the Cold Snap, but it's the Nightmare and then the attack, so the defensive refraction charges just taken away from Miracle.
Yep. And that's the big thing is that when you're playing against TA, you want to go for the Forge Spirit build, as you see no one doing. The Ice Wall as well, like you just burn through the refraction, and the amount of pressure you can output just renders them useless. And this is a matchup TA wants to stay ahead of, much like playing against Shadow Fiend. If you get to a certain point where you're under-leveled, you don't have the items to continue pressuring, like you're forced to do what no one's doing now, which is just, or sorry, Miracle, just go into the woods.
Nice bounty runes in for Team Liquid, Mind Control. Just bottling through it all. Now those bounty runes give a full bottle. He's just Iron Shell up at Hill Troll. Priest continues to surge around and wasting time of Roger and Solo. Very rarely does this support combination of VP have their time wasted. And then Mind Control just TBs out as well after Iron Shell burning the wave down thanks to the catapult.
I really like what no one did middle as well. Like after he applied all that pressure, he just hard denied. And as you can see, he's just maintaining lane control on his hill. So even though GH is here to soak, it's a lot harder for him to ever secure last hits when he's forced to run up right into the range of no one in order to actually hit a creep.
Is this really what you need to do though? Because like, okay, GH starts to soak. Maybe he can start the stacks as well, and that's what Miracle and GH are both doing. Just going to leave top lane a little bit exposed to this smoke gank. Actually, no, it's not. Kuro breaks it already. Puts the Observer Ward down. They get all the information they want. So this should be a simple run out. In fact, maybe with the help of GH, they thought they could take a fight, but 3 heroes. Pasha's moved over. They already start the Brain Sap, and Kuro's the target. He can try and TP out, and actually he can do that if he didn't get hit by the Sunstrike and then the Axis. Kuro will die. Like, there are no more stuns available with the ensnare that was on Roger, but not enough space.
Yeah. You're okay with this if you're VP. Obviously, Kuro going down, but he got some cool wards off, both high grounds in this top lane. I think that one should get countered, the one close to the secret shop.
Matumba's on the run again. Stick charge is available. The Sunstrike right on the money. No one. This is what he wants to have. Back-to-back kills, assists at least, with one of them being a kill. Kurok might be able to get a little bit more. Solo in deep. No, of course he can't. Solo's got the Brain Sap. Gets the kill before his own death. But that's both of the dragons to the safe lane of Liquid going down, and this movement of GH not really changing the pace enough for him.
Yeah, they really did not want to TP the Darkseer up top either. No one else can really go stand bottom against Jug. He's got ult prepared, already shoving into tower with an Aquila. Like, you have way too many heroes up top now for Liquid. The Visage is not level 6, no HOD either, so it's not as if they can push the tower. And as you can see, they did recognize that Kuro had warded on that high ground, so they get the ward as well. You take that if you're VP.
Well, Nahar's talking about the D-warding that comes out from Team Liquid, but Virtus Pro as well. Oh, rotation's working here against Miracle. The spin from Ramses. Then again, Refraction charges up for Miracle. Solo caught on the wrong side of the river. The TA trap slows him with a little bit of damage, but they have to take the Nightmare off, but it's all a little too late. Liquid scrambling to try and find something here, but it's been very difficult for them.
Yeah. It's so cool watching these teams play, because for a second I thought the Jug was Miracle, because I've seen him make that rotation on Jug so many times. Notably, I think with OG winning a major off of it.
Sunstrike, they're waiting for the perfect control time. Roger, he knew he was low on life, but the Tranquil Boots are coming in, so everything is going to get back anyway. It's just continuous pressure across the map. That's what the Invoker Exort build enables you to do.
Yeah. Both teams are so good, man. It's just such quality, Dota. All these little things. It's impossible to talk about everything when you're just watching a game live, but every time these teams play, I swear there's enough replay review any team could do for like an hour or so. The little things, the warding, the item builds, the efficiencies. I've seen bottles refilled twice already.
We hadn't even kept a closer eye on this guy, like Mind Control. We saw him for half a second. He's been just on that bottom lane farming up. He's at 4.2k net worth. He's actually 400 in front of no one, which is probably going to make this kill worth even more. They rotate in. He did go very, very deep. Mind Control was creep skipping between the tier 2 and tier 3 tower on the bottom lane.
Yeah. And Kuro said at the start of the game that everyone had muted VP, and if they wanted to talk, they could talk to him. You would think like that might be a joke, but I'm pretty sure it's serious.
Considering all the voice lines that get spammed out, yeah, it actually probably is deadly serious.
Because it's just something that breaks your focus, even if it doesn't tilt you necessarily. VP is really good about ensuring that you know they just killed you. And wow, no one just used his first Midas 9 minutes into the game. Not a bad timing. He's top net worth already.
Yeah. That death of the Darkseer allowed him to just switch places. Top lane took a little bit of harassment. Mind Control's getting back on bottom. He wants the healing ward from Ramses. Mid lane, Meteor drops. Miracle has no real defense, but he's got friends. GH turns around, and that negative armor hitting into no one enables Miracle to get the kill. Solo, they don't really want to chase him much more. Meanwhile, up on top, and it's going to be the trade-off, so Kuro falls, the man taking it for the team, both in voice lines as well as deaths.
The armor is going to be a critical component for any VP team fight victory.
Oh, Omni Slash! There's still not enough damage. That's a level 1, so only 3 hits top lane. That is enough damage. GH will fall.
Yeah. You can see Invoker, when he takes that Melt Strike and the Naga E to the face, that's -6 armor. He's only got 4. So as this game continues, Visage is going to have a Medallion, then a Solar Crest. You're going to have TA with the Deso. You're going to need to maintain your armor, and it's going to be very important for no one to either watch his positioning or itemize for a Shiva's ASAP.
Is Shiva's enough, and can you get like some other items which are just able to pick it up a little bit more? Like obviously you got Aquila, Fire Strike top. They're actually using that for birds. So you got the Aquila over on the Juggernaut for now.
The Medallion on Beastmaster is going to be big. We can expect to use that defensively. He'll probably want a Solar at some point as well. Crimson Guard always excellent against the Visage, but part of the reason the panel like Liquid's draft so much is that it's very balanced. It's an easy game for them to win fights, and they have the ability to shove lanes just with birds, with ion shells. Jakiro from Kuro is always able to do so as well.
Setting up on Mind Control. The Sunstride's coming in. The Familiar Birds want to help out with this, and Solo, well, he's being a bit of a nuisance, and that's why they're locking him down, Solar Assumptioning into him. And Solo's on the run, the Vac back, and the ensnared Juggernaut starts his TP. Have they got the damage? Yes, they do. 2 heroes will fall for Virtus Pro. And Team Liquid, they couldn't pressure enough on the top lane, but maybe they could do it on the bottom lane now.
It's a close game. We can't expect. I'm surprised no towers have fallen yet, but both of these lanes are just all stagnant. Like, no one is really making moves into side lanes. You can see Visage coming down bottom, but it's because he finally has that tempo timing. HOD, birds up, rotated Miracle as well, who suddenly, Miracle's really farmed.
Yeah, he's got 5k. He's already got the Treads Aquila. He's 1 Mithril Hammer away from having the full Desolator. And Roger, top lane, try to go in on Kuro, instantly regrets his decision.
Did I miss something? Like, how's Miracle caught up?
It was the stacks. They had a couple of Ancients prepared for him. Now they move forward looking for more kills. He's only got 2-2-2, so you know it's not the kill. Sunstrike up on top. Revenge is granted. Mind Control going down every time Raw comes off cooldown. They just burned it out, this time with Medallion buff up on the Beastmaster. Ramses rotates in, looking after GH. He's got Song of the Siren while the spin is up. He doesn't want to go underneath that tower. Trying to get it off, but he just can't do it. The Cold Snap cancelling, and I'm wondering if he wasn't going to get it off anyway, so just accepted his fate.
I think it's good to save it there. You don't want to blow such a long cooldown, nearly 3 minutes of time you'd be playing without Song. Now that this mid tower is available, that's Liquid's next play. You want to have all your skills available. Jakiro only level 6, so the combo isn't quite there, but they've been real good about landing the Matumba Man bird stuns as the song fades, and you have so much lockdown. You get that full charged up TA trap, so it'll actually do damage as well. He's going to have Deso and 300 gold on TA.
Yeah. It's been a good time for Miracle. Even with that Bane making his life a living hell in mid lane, it's a turnaround for him. And then Matumbaman and Mind Control, they're just trying to control the bottom lane. And this is creating a lot more space on top. There's familiar drop downs again on the Juggernaut. He can spin and get away from this. There's no threat here really for Ramses, but the continuous pressure from Liquid, I'm wondering if this is the smoke and mirrors. What is Liquid achieving elsewhere on the map while this is going on? Is it the TA farm? Is it Jakiro? Is it something else? I
mean, the Deso on TA is going to be picked up real soon. Yeah, Kuro's just sitting up top. Max.
Smoke gank. VP is already here. Look how fast they send in that Naga Siren. She's got the Iron Shell on her. They'll back. They kill off the Bane. Omni Slash. GH. He'll just mirror image. Dodges most of it. The spin, however, GH can't get out of the trees. So Ramsey spin TP will get himself a kill. Roger was there to help out. He's got Burrow Strike in 2 seconds' time. Stick Charges cannot give enough life to survive that long.
Yep, in the meantime, up top, you had Beastmaster land a Roar, immediate Sunstrike follow-up from No One's Invoker. He lands that kill, but got to keep in mind, VP, they need their 3rd or 4th items before their cores have any real survivability. You're going to need a Manta +1 on Ramses, and No One, yeah, he's going to have Midas, he'll have Ags, but he's got 5 armor still. TA Deso Melt Strike, he's going to get 3-shot. Add in any other spells, a little bit of lockdown, you know, like the Visage Birds alone, once that medallion comes up.
With the support of Liquid, obviously Matumbaman having that dominated nice and early, can they just slip into Roshan now? Song of the Siren is up. Can they take this, or do they need the Tier 1 tower mid gone before they can achieve it?
I think you can take the mid tower for free. I don't see VP being able to win a fight, especially against Song, so I don't mind that move. Up top, if you look, they know Pasha's invis. They just scanned him out, so yeah, he's going to back away wisely.
Waiting for the 15-minute bounty runes. Darkseer has come down. He's underneath his own dire observer wards. They got the information. Pasha just stands on the rune and actually claims it too. Yeah.
But man, Liquid's timing is going to be so strong. You got Medallion HOD on Visage, the Song combo, Darkseer's going Crimson Guard right away, and the TA has Deso. So
Hello. Solo put down the Observe Ward. Don't know if Kuro saw that while they're trying to look for the gank onto him, but Ensnare up with Solo. Brain Snap just sustained the fight. Remember, he's still got that Nightmare to try and dodge, and by a little bit of time, difficult and, well, not impossible, but futile.
In a really good place on Liquid right now. And Ramsey's going for the Yasha straight into Manta build, so he's not really going to scale that well either. Game's still even, 14-10 gold disparity, still in favor of VP ever so slightly, but I don't know if they're going to be able to take a fight anytime soon.
It's that combination you were talking about. It's the negative armor, and Virtus Pro, even net worth isn't enough because they need to have the extra cash in order to deal with it. It's almost like an alchemist right now. You know you need to be ahead. Ramsey is the man on the run. GH has the Ensnare available. Doesn't want to just throw it just yet. Ramsey starts to spin. Knows he's locked in position, then begins his TP out. He's going all the way back to base. And Team Liquid, even if they don't have the creep wave, they don't care. It's a little bit further away, but they're just going to take out the Tier 1 tower on the top. No backdoor regeneration for these towers.
You can see what VP wants to do. No one down bottom. He's split pushing, but as this game progresses into the mid game, look at the Liquid heroes. You have 4 heroes that can shove creep waves without needing their hero to be anywhere near. Naga Illusions, TA Traps, Visage Birds, Darkseer Ion Shells, and then Jakiro is arguably the best 5 position in the world at just shoving lanes. So how are you actually going to be able to apply that typical VP pressure to open up the map when Liquid can just eat creep waves even faster than you?
Yep. And then how are you meant to contest Roshan? Like, if all these side lanes being pushed in, how does VP get what they really want to have, which is going to be the fights? And now, Fiend's Grip, well, is out. Someone's got his burst with him. Raw, Sunstrike, the damage is enough to kill Visage. In return, no! The double drops. Kuro is here with the Ice Path to ensure there isn't just an easy escape. The bird's coming back up again. They have bonus damage as Matumbaman starts to heal. GH already with his but it's Miracle who's jumped forward, chasing after Pasha. And who really has that extra armor? Medallion was meant to give Pasha the advantage, but Miracle claimed his life as well as his units.
Night Wolf creep. 30% more damage to an incredibly high physical damage lineup already. Now you just walk into Roche. You already have this ward of the Ancients that's going to protect you.
You got Blink on TA.
Yeah.
She's got the money for it 17 minutes in.
Yep, and it doesn't, no one's net worth is not relevant. As soon as he gets targeted, he's going to go down. He'll be able to output damage. He has that Axe, so he can spam spells, but how does he stay alive to get them off when he's pressured and near, like, he's going to be immediately forced to run away if any of the Liquid cores get in his area. You can deal with Darkseer, but Visage lands a Q on you, like, you're just dead or you're going Invis.
And this game, he hasn't played Invoker in a while, and maybe you won't want to play it for a while after this. But either way, Ensnare, they managed to catch out Roger, but Roger very smart. Song of the Siren, smarter from GH. SK just locked in and brought down this, the double damage, fresh double damage rune on the Templar Assassin. You said high damage. That's 107 plus 247. Yep, the Sunstrike's going to be on the money. So Darkseer will fall, but the damage is being inflicted to the mid lane.
The VP doing a great job thus far with the limitations of their draft. They have to find these kills. They can't take fights, and that's the second or third time you've seen this just roar off the Shadow Blades right into a Sunstrike. It's something VP does very well. Part of the reason they're in this final, they understand their win conditions. Beastmaster's not going these massive teamfight items because that's not their strength. He has to play fast off the map.
They actually saw his refraction come down. Now they're into the Omni Slash, combining with the Brain Zap. Miracle just wants to keep running away from this GH. Able to buy a little bit of space, but in comes your Invoker. Deafening Blast timing, little bit off. They have Nightmare to buy time for Ramses, but Invoker goes down. Ramses will join him. Miracle just had the damage reach. You thought it was a trap for VP to spring. They had the Ops and the Sentry. They had the information. Now all they do is they burn the Aegis Immortal, hitting the Ice Path, and then Sideblade attack. Miracle doesn't even come into range of the Tier 3 tower to find the kill.
Yeah, beautiful play from Liquid.
What do you want to do, Pasha? Oh, did they see him for half a second? I think they knew Pasha came in behind him. They dropped the Sentry. They'll drop the secondary Sentry. The Ice Path will connect. Beastmaster Shadowblade's wearing off. They've got the dust as well. Spidey senses are tingling, and Team Liquid put 4 in the grave of Virtus Pro in the span of 30 seconds.
Man, this is such a great draft from Liquid. Oh, mid.
Epi looking for a bit of a rebuttal. Refraction charges, buying time for Miracle. Now Ensnare. Roger really trying to force the issue. Nightmare buying a little bit more time for the Ice Path. And combination is great from Liquid. That was optimistic to say the least from Roger.
It's just there's so much Minus armor that this draft can output. You got -5 from the Naga, -14 from a Meld Strike of the TA, sorry, 15. Visage has the -10 of a Solar Crest. Like, how do you actually survive? As soon as you're isolated by a net, you're just going down, and that's an incredibly long disable. 4 seconds, soon to be 5. You don't have any method of surviving. You don't really win a team fight. You can see this great trap. Yeah, they see the TA, they have a great setup here, but he has Aegis, so he doesn't care that he gets gripped, Sunstrike, ult. So many ults used, you don't even finish off the Aegis. Now all of a sudden, you reconvene. There's the Jug versus Naga factor. You're going to get net through spin the entire game. Now it's down, you get chased. Yeah, there's a defensive sleep, but does that really mean anything when there's so many methods of breaking it and no real combo break or counter initiation from this VP side? There's no Kunkka, there's no
it was
ET.
there if the Deafening Blast was able to clip him, but the Tornado dropped him like a fraction of a second after the blast passed underneath the feet. So they didn't have that pushback which they really required just to pop the Aegis and buy more time at the start of the fight. It's probably the reason why PGL production team focused on no one during that fight. It's like, guys, problems.
And look, no one has Blink now. Bot's up soon, but again, these items increase his ability to farm and play around the map. He still can't survive. He won't be able to take fights. The moment he's targeted, he's going to go down. So if you're Liquid, you just need to find this Invoker.
It's space creation is what the VP game is right now. No one able to get the kill on Kuro. Pasha using that Shadow Blade. Even if he dies, it's okay, because he created more space. And he's wasting time. Microtrol and GH are chasing him. He's got Miracle also on the way up. So Pasha will die, but a Blink Dagger has been farmed up by Roger on the bottom lane, and he's pushing that out in the meantime.
Yeah. You're doing as well as you can under the circumstances of a VP. It's going to be all in on this one team fight. You have the ability to find a pick. Oh, wow, nice Blink from no one there. If he caught a bird hit, he might have been in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, the Grave Shield gave him a little bit of an indication that fights were coming.
Yeah. No one is playing super efficient, always shoving mid. This is the 2nd minute in a row he's farmed while stacking Ancients. Pasha continuously finding kills, but again, I'm just concerned they don't necessarily have the matchups to win this game as it continues unless they can somehow find their way into the late game. This next Aegis from Liquid is going to be very scary for them. Jug needs this Maelstrom, and then you're looking at, like, someone needs an AC. Jug probably needs a Scotty at some point. It's just there's so many items that it feels like they need before they can successfully take a real engagement. And we haven't even seen a song combo yet.
No, we have not. So, and maybe it feels like we're overselling this where Team Liquid are in control when, like, out the top 3 networks, currently there's 2 at the moment for Virtus Pro who are sitting in there. But the Invoker is not poor by any stretch of the imagination, but it's that effective network that we're talking about. But that's why they try and get more out of the map. No one's on bottom lane, pushing into the tier 2 tower. TP support is coming back by Mind Control. So he'll hold the tower back, and this does effectively stop any kind of team fight that Liquid can achieve in the mid lane.
Ramsey's doing a great job getting the top tower in the meantime.
Yep. And the Hawk seeing everything for Virtus.pro. The Beastmaster kept that Hawk alive for a very long time, just stalking the Liquid lineup. So VP are making really good decisions. They pulled their head together, and that's why Smoke Up from Team Liquid. It does, okay, Beastmaster got caught napping on the sidelines. He nightmares the Templar Assassin. Not certain that was the target he was looking for, but he'll take it. It was Roger who was the one to break the smoke and then bailed out.
And all they need is these couple of pickoffs.
EMP Tornado gonna kick in. Miracle blinks forward. The Song of the Siren catching the back lines. Virtus.pro, they need some extra help. The Ice Path and the Macro Pyre. The Nightmare. It bought time for no one to go Impus, but the back into the ball. The Macro Pyre. He'll do the work. It's still heavy damage with the Epicenter returning a little bit more into Virtus.pro. Not to mention the fact that Juggernaut is still up and kicking. Both versions of him, the Darkseer one and the other. But now Ramsey's hitting into Miracle. This is huge kills now for Virtus.pro. Mind Control has to surge himself away to safety. That was not the fight that Liquid were looking for, and it's not at the end of it either. Mind Control, the runaway, Ramsey's, oh, he desperately wants this, but Pasha buys back, and he'll claim it with the range axes. Well played indeed. Team Liquid, they lose 5, going high ground, and all they got was 400 damage to a tier 3 tower and a kill and an Invoker and a Bane.
Man, people really want to kill these VP heroes. We saw LGD in the previous series lose a couple of games because they dove too deep. You can see, I love the play from GH, but you can see Curl backpedaled for a couple of seconds. He's not quite ready for this Song Blink in. He's 4 or 5 seconds behind. Tanks the MP anyway. If he's able to set up to get a multi-man Ice Path, this is a completely different fight. But now you hard commit on the Invoker. Again, the sleep save to buy a little bit of time. The Roar on top of the TA BKB. Great epicenter from Roger. And now all of a sudden, look where Liquid's heroes are. They don't have, like, it's all about their team fight. When Visage and Jakiro both die at the start of a fight, the Balto's dead too. You lose a significant portion of your damage. There's no lockdown.
Yeah, it's A-OK from Ramses. May have even done that when he's in the middle of the Omni Slash. And then Omni Slash was focused primarily on Matumba and Kuro. It never really bounced out anywhere else, so he got the exact targets he wanted. And this is that scary thing you were talking about. VP now going to have money. What are they putting it into? What are the items we're looking at? Blink Dagger for Pasha, but what are the other dangerous items against Liquid?
This BKB on no one's going to be huge as well because they don't have... It's so hard to lock an Invoker down once he has BKB. Yes, he'll still be incredibly susceptible to that physical damage output of the TA, but you can play faster. You can just be evasive. TA has a very hard time sticking onto targets, especially as the game goes later. You can see in his quick buy right now, he's got a Scythe of Ice.
Yep. If he can knock down targets that way, but then you just got a 4-star followed by Roger. He cancels his epicenter, realizing he was doing it underneath an Observer Ward. 4-star up the hill, so the Raw controls GH into the Omni Slash, and GH will fall. 46 seconds down, and now Roger! The 3-man Burrow Strike! He came under the Familiars, however, and they had the back wall combination. The Ice Path can't hold anybody. But Roger, damn, that looked good. Unfortunately, it was his death that was the only result from it.
Dude, another thing I forgot to mention, I've not played Darkseer in years, but when you get the wall illusions now of the Beastmaster, especially as this game gets later, most end up taking the inner beast attack speed. That's all the way at level 25, but still, you get Beastmaster aura. If anyone buys Vlad's or AC on VP, you're going to steal that as well. And the Jug illusion is very powerful. That's not a negligible hero. And the recent changes to wall mean that those illusions are now doing max damage when your wall's maxed out, which is going to be in about 200 XP for the Darkseer. Sorry, 100% damage.
It's even more enabling too, because Team Liquid, they're bouncing in both the TA as well as the Nagastar into this melee kind of range. So if one hero is isolated, the burn is just so hard that you can't stay alive. Like the SK, yeah, you got 4-star, you used everything, and it would have been a very different fight if Roger didn't get caught out. Like if he got in with the Epicenter, that 3-man Burrow Strike into Epi would have been fantastic with the 4-star disengaged, but he did the best he could with what he had left.
Yep. I like what VP's done with their vision. They have total control over the bottom half of the dire jungle, just really to get vision. They need to continue playing and mirroring the map. You don't want to just walk into Liquid because at any point, a Song combo, the TA initiating on somebody caught unawares, like your heroes are still very squishy. You need to keep playing the same way. Push the map, play for the late game. I love Ramsey's choice of items here, the Manta into Maelstrom. Looking for a BKB next.
Yeah, they'll have both of those BKBs up soon. They've already got the one on the Invoker.
Yeah.
You're going to get a little bit of it's more dodge control.
Yep.
Bane going to go for the Ghost Scepter so he can Nightmare off the other targets. Thinking about Roshan, it is up. Team Liquid passing in front of it, not to kill it. They're coming under the cover of smoke as a quick pause from Ramses. Needs to readjust those knees.
Yeah,
or
so
potentially
this
down.
is fine. This is a great moment for there to be a pause. Smoked up from Liquid right now. They just saw their ward get countered, but it was done very efficiently from Pasha. Using the minions, standing just to the left. This is a difficult fight for Liquid. You're going to be walking right into a potential choke point.
Yep. And into Vision, you know, is probably already there. And the Hawk, it's going to look at Roshan. So Liquid, they smoke up looking for a fight. Now they're going for Roshan, but it's all visible. And Urani is going down pretty fast, but here comes the rest of Burst Pro, GH. He's got that Blink, Song of the Siren ready to go. Epicenter from Roger. He's blinking in. 4-star goes for the Burrow Strike, but Liquid have already left home. They catch up Pasha inside the river. They saw it coming from a mile away, and they'll get solo. Liquid with a double up. Now they can finish off Roshan. Unless no one wants to do something a little bit scary, Ice Path will connect. The TA trap slowed him down. He had no real way to escape from this, and now he'll burn his 10-second BKB, but they had the detection available, so Ensnare holds him in position. Now the fresh BKB burn, Invoke dead for 70 seconds, and Team Liquid about to pick up Aegis as well as Cheese.
Yep, the bird, that was incredible. Miracle side-bladed down.
Roger, not again. He's not going to mess with them. In fact, outside of it, the Dire do kill Roshan. Aegis goes to Miracle, and they're out.
He side-bladed down the bird. They had no vision. Thus, Roger just blinks in blindly to the pit, but they've already moved away. And a big advantage of that is that they have control of the Roche pit, and they still have the superior team fight. Beastmaster walks in, but how do you actually initiate as VP with no vision in this sort of game? You don't have any real reach, and you still don't win team fights against Liquid.
That's when you're going to feel it out. That's what Roger tried to do. Team Liquid felt it coming, and then push down the mid lane. There is no one here from VP that can defend. They must let this mid Rax fall, and they must make sure they don't get caught out. Ramses is pretty damn close. And Song of the Siren is still up from GH, so Liquid have nothing to lose by pushing here. I don't think there's any way VP can find a kill in it. The BKB is down for the Invoker, not to mention him being dead anyway.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's a good decision, though. You get the Rax, take Shrine, take the 4 bounty runes that just spawned, finish your Hex on the TA, go high ground with Aegis. You still have another 4 minutes with this and Cheese. You're not feeling any pressure if you're Liquid. You know you still have the stronger lineup for at least the next 5-10 minutes in this game. If you're VP, you need an immediate pickoff, and then I want to say long fights, but I don't even know if that really favors them. They need a kill or 2 right off the bat, and I just don't know how you're going to get that if Liquid doesn't 5-man dive into your base again.
That's why Pasha's out, just roaming, trying to find this side pickoff. Like, he's only got Medallion and with the Shadow Blade, so it's not a lot of damage to work with. He'll need the Invoker being physically there and not just the Sunstrike. Yep. Team Liquid, they're just establishing vision control. They got the Gem of True Sight and the Darkseer, who really should not die. Pipe as well as Crimson, so...
And Kuro took VPs off that last team fight, so there's no real vision control now for the side of VP. You have no real vision whatsoever on your side of the map, and you can't comfortably place any because Jakiro can just check high grounds with Ice Path, no big deal. You need a kill to start a fight. You need a pick-off, but how do you find that with no control and no vision?
Space created on bottom lane. The Invoker push in with the Forest Spirits, the double catapult. They at least bring that tower down low, and this will waste a little bit of time with the Aegis the Immortal. They're not even planning on using the Cheese. Matumba's got TP in his inventory and the Cheese in the backpack. So they know they can wait a little bit more time. No one will have that space on the top to farm up the Shiva's Guard. He's got a double creep wave to farm.
I love the little things. Miracle just placing a quick trap on the high ground because the Jakiro was pushing the lane, so they get that D ward. Not something you'll see every core player do. They're going to miss this one. There's actually, like, I think posted on Reddit about just a really unique spot that Solo found. One of the best warders in Dota, but as Nahaz brought up during the panel, Kuro seemed to have his number and still continues to do so as this game progresses.
Yep. And I'm wondering if, well, they will obviously care about that. Well, it's almost a full duration one. And the only way to de-ward that is putting a sentry right on top.
Yep. Or a trap with a gem.
Or trap gem. That'll work.
Yep.
Flying vision. Yeah, I know.
I still like what they're doing. You know, VP just continuing to try and buy time, but Liquid again, we said 4 minutes. Now there's 2 minutes left on this Aegis. It's go time. They've bought almost everything they possibly can. If you look at the current goal, this just finished the BKB.
No one
TA
has
finished the
Shivas.
Hex. Yep. He can survive better now, but I still think he goes to negative if he catches all the minus armor from the Liquid lineup.
Pasha was still creep skipping top. He's only now going to TP back. Regenerating up inside the fountain, not already in a pre-prepared position. That's what the familiar birds are looking for as they go over the trees. So Roger will have to do this from deep inside the base. With the Force Staff, he does have that extra range, but the familiars are doing the work at the moment. Ramses wants to attack him, but he also does not want to get chain stunned. Not when Miracle is just itching to jump in, and there we go. Invoker, EMP Tornado, caught out Matumba, but the Blink Fort, Miracle will go for it for the bar. The BKB protecting him as he wants to stand his ground. Save for Ramses, Noah was just able to escape. The Song of the Siren is out, that's why the Omnisage is still going to work. It only killed off one familiar. Now the BKB of Ramses, he does get back up, but the epicenter of Roger, the fact kept him away. Mind control with the great control. GH can be Lotus Bolt up, protected for the moment. That's why the call set returns. Roger, he'll go down. TA will finally get that jump in to find real kills with the Soul Assumption, getting through into Ramses. 5x not available for either of these players. No one must BKB. Moving away from Miracle, moving away from the Ice Path control. The Rax is barely surviving.
Just 20 more seconds.
Watch that time, and then maybe you get a little bit too overconfident. GH jumps in, Blink goes in for the rooting over on Solo. A little bit deeper, thanks to the Force Staff. Meteor Hammer also looking to hit its target, but the Cold Snap cancels that. Fiend Script from Solo, he wants revenge. Miracle, the aggressive jump forward, not to mention the Ice Path, cancelling that ability. The Deafening Blast of Meteorite at least remove the defensive refraction charges of the TA. But the Rax, the melee is already gone. The range is the only thing left standing on the bottom lane. Pasha is trying to help out. That Aegis model has expired, and with it, Team Liquid's push will probably do the same thing. Everybody retreat. Nothing of real value was lost here for Team Liquid.
Man, these teams are both they're so good. They make you work for everything. The BKB timings from Miracle and No One in that fight were a frame or two before the stuns that would have disabled them landed. Like, it's so crisp. Even though Liquid is still in command, it's still one mistake. Like, they make one more misplay, take a bad fight, even 2 racks ahead, and it just feels like VP could storm right back into this game.
VP are coming out. They're looking for a fight. As far as Dire Vision go, there is an Observe Ward planted smack bang in the middle of the mid lane. So Liquid already know that this movement is coming. Nakura's even putting a defensive Ice Path down on top of the Bounty Rune just in case. VP's just trying to get any money they can. They only got 1 out of those 4 35-minute Bounty Runes. Epicenter going in with a jump forward. Sunstrike onto Kuro. Song of the Siren. Everything just stops. Kuro turns around for the Ice Path, and they just hit with Meteor Hammer, Song, and then Roger goes after buying time. Burrow strikes up, but familiar chain stun from Matumba. Right on the money.
And again, like, it's just, even the item choice, GH, I haven't talked about it, but he just went Blink Meteor Hammer. Partly because he has his teammates to pick up all those team fight sustain items that traditionally the Naga support would want. You know, the pipes, maybe the Crimson, the mech, etc. None of that is necessary.
It was mind control, right? Like, he had such a great start in bottom lane. Like, the guy even had a Lotus Orb affecting in that last fight.
Yeah, he has Crimson Pipe Lotus.
Roars out. Nightmare at least keeping a little bit of Liquid occupied as Darkseer falls instantly. It's the Naga Siren that slept up. The Omnislash, but Tumba's burst looked up a lot. Solo finally gets the Fiend's Grip off. And here's the double kill that no one was just begging for. Huge amount of death. Liquid just have to get the hell out of here. The Nightmare won't allow this, but GH Kuro doing his own TP out. GH will die on the steps of the Palaces, maybe. Yeah, one more attack will do it from Pasha. Kuro was able to complete his TP away, but you mentioned it, one bad fight, and even 2 racks down, VP can come back into this.
Yeah, suddenly it's 2K lead. And Mind Control bought back there as well. Where was TA?
Watch the replay, check it out. That would be the best way. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, so you can see TA just picked up a Daedalus and is now running back to his team. They're not able to fight. Ramses with the immediate BKB. This is the double BKB combo of the VP cores. There's not much you can do to them if Naga's out of the game.
The boar and the Troll Trapper was sitting inside the river, so even if Miracle wanted to blink himself over, he got caught when his refraction charges were down.
Yeah, and Song was down because they had used it on Roger previously. It's still down, actually. And, like, that's what's so key. I feel like that's part of the reason VP's even in that area. They know with no Song they have the freedom to do so. Otherwise, a BKB core gets netted, and then the Song isolates the rest of the team. But there, you just commit hard. And even though Visage, he's got a lot of items, but very squishy still. BKB, Ag, Solar, but there's no AC up. There's no Shivas. Like, his health pool really isn't what you would expect.
Miracle is planning another trap. This time in a place where no Sentry Ward in his right mind will be planted, but no one came out to fight it. You thought that no one would have actually, like literally, come to push the lane. But it didn't happen, so TP back out again, regroup up, watch that Roshan timer, as, well, it's now. He literally spawned. Naga Illusion scattered out instantly, so does the Hawk, so great information from both sides. Let's see what both teams can do with it.
And there's the third one as well. Refresher Shard for either side is an incredible pickup here.
They're grouping up underneath that Observer Ward. The gem didn't go far enough to the right. They didn't actually see it. So information for Virtus Pro also still on that high ground. Microtrol, he's barely out of range. That Gem of True Sight, not the same as normal vision. So this Observer Ward's watching him fight. Now Microtrol's like, oh, wait, they know. Okay. But the vision is at least gone before the Roshan fight would begin. And this place is now littered with TA traps.
Yeah.
Hello, Lincolns.
I'd like to see TA move to put a couple traps down bottom just to cut that wave, then be able to set up for Roche. Right now, they're not playing it. And while they do have the supers down there, it's pretty easy for no one to just cover it every once in a while because of those bots.
Double Lincolns purchased.
Yep.
So we got one over on Ramses, and they're actually doubling it onto Ramses. So no one gave it. Obviously realizing that Ramses can be the man to jump in on the front lines.
It's super effective here. If they BKB, it'll get rid of the net. Like, there's no longer a net threat when you're BKB'd, and the TA can't initiate by himself with the Hex anymore because he has no ability to cancel the Lincolns either. It's almost all in the Visage, but as we've seen time and time again, he seems to be the squishiest hero on Liquid. And if he gets stunned by Roger, he just dies in a Jug Omni Slash, so he can't really move up far enough to get a Soul Assumption off to proc that Lincolns. It's just not what you're looking to. You want Miracle to be able to play as that aggressor, but now he can't.
Team Liquid are just waiting for this fight in mid. They know the bottom wave is going to push him pretty heavily, so they'll have their opportunities to slip into Roshan. That's a decent creep wave. There's someone from VP, the second they show themselves, you know Miracle goes inside the pit. In fact, already, they're going in. And this is a commitment from Virtus Pro. They'll lose tier 4 towers if they commit towards this fight, but I don't think they have another choice. So already, all regeneration up, Song of the Siren, GH jumps forward. He's got 4 heroes trapped inside of this. And make it actually 5. The Ice Path grabbing the Beastmaster on the end on Nightmare in the back, hitting a 3-man wall. Roger is the epicenter, so maybe they can get a little bit of revenge kill onto GA. They don't have the control for him. TA roared up Ramses. He's got the space. He'll burn the Aegis to the Immortal, but Omnislash has already been committed. So is his BKB. So Team Liquid, they'll keep the run going. Ramses into a spin. Solo kept the Fiend's grip onto Templar Assassin. Miracles had no time to attack. Even Roger's going to go center out that attack. The Tom and the Cheese gets him and keeps him in this fight. But Ramses, the damage is just so damn high. He'll finally get through him. The EMP burn is good, but Solo is down. Invoker as well as SK, the last 2 left standing. Refresher Shard was grabbed up by the Courier. SK was nearby. I don't think he actually realized that was still left inside the pit. But this is going to be a very hard defense from VP.
No buyback on the Juggernaut. Great play from GH there. Isolates the entire VP lineup as his team finishes Roche. Objective-based gaming. Now you go straight for the tier 4s.
Yep. No Aegis the Immortal, however, on Miracle. Keep this in mind. Refresher Shard was given to the Visage. So he'll have another set of birds if he wants it. His BKB's up cooldown in 10 seconds time. They get through the birds. Matubman's holding the shard for the moment. He still wants that BKB charge to work with. Miracle will start the hit without that damage from Ramses. Can Virtus Pro actually hold this line? The creep waves come in nicely through the bottom. Solo's looking for the target. Matubman burns the BKB already. Remember, he's got the shards. He wants to have the extra birds, and that's exactly what he does. Sharp them birds. Tier 4 towers gone. Fire strike forward. They're trying to get that meteorite to hit the target, but it just doesn't work. A quick move away. Roger trying to get out of it. Then he can't do it. Buyback. They'll just have to be committed. The Familiars are still up and fighting. They don't have their stuns for the moment. Now they move forward. They do have them. They're attacking in towards the fountain. Team Liquid, they want to end this. 15 seconds till Ramses is up. Do they have enough time? The Nightmare stopping the TA from attacking. GH goes after no one, but no one has the Lincoln Speeder protected. Burrow Strike, Epicenter is back in again, but the Ancient is ticking down 200 and 0 HP. Liquid just manhandling Virtus Pro at the end there. And VP, it felt like they were walking uphill most of the way anyway.
Oh man, that Glyph had 13 seconds left on cooldown when that game ended. Incredible play from both sides though. Liquid, I think, with the draft advantage, much panel predicted, all three of them. I just gotta say, like, this is some of the best Dota I think we've seen all year, and it's just so poetic that it's Liquid, it's VP. We get 5 games, or maybe just 3, who knows, the last major of the year, and this is the last time we'll get to see either one of these teams until TI, so we should savor this, and I cannot wait to watch more of this Dota, because it's just so much, it's so good.
It's synergistic, it's wonderful. A closer draft, maybe, where the panel doesn't just sit there and say, hey, Team Liquid have won this. I'd like something closer, because VP, even behind, they still looked amazing.
Yeah.
Give me something closer next time, please.
We'll try. I've run out of magic wands, Tubby, but we'll try. 1-0 to Liquid. Well done to them. It was a draft victory according to our panel, and that's exactly how it turned out, gents. It was kind of predictable, but like, you know, the gents on the commentary desk said, VP still play well from behind, don't they? My goodness, they're good.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. I think that Virtus Pro surprised us a little bit. I watched that laning phase. It was amazing. Virtus Pro moved around so much with Solo and Roger. They managed to make so many plays. They had a Midas super fast. I'm sure you know the timing, Alan.
It was crazy fast. Yeah, I can get you the number.
It was like, and they just were setting up for all these Sunstrikes. But the thing is that we're watching this, and because we have a certain feeling about this draft, it's like we're watching this, and it feels like VP are like, they're taking their bucket and trying to like shove out the tide. You know, it's like they're doing these little things that they have to do in the game, but it feels like it's inevitable that Liquid's just going to reach a point of strength where they're just going to roll over you at 30 minutes.
Yeah, you guys pointed out the Invoker TA, obviously TA coming out on top on that, no surprise.
But the problem, actually, they went very even in lane because the Bane helped middle a lot.
Right.
And honestly, the matchup works in a very interesting way. As soon as you have Aghanims on Invoker, you actually counter the TA until she has her BKB. And it almost looked really bad for Liquid at one point there, too.
Yeah.
When they died in the base, I thought, because they reached this critical mass, they're really strong, they should end the game with that. But if they can't do it once or twice, then their late game is not good enough to compete with VPs. It was very close.
Yeah, very I mean, that's the story of the whole game, isn't it?
I think Toby, saying, give me a close one, this was a very close game. And you look at the time that Liquid ended this game right before the 42-minute mark. If you go back 3 months, Visage is 61 and 39. TA is 10 and 8 in games that end before 45 minutes. Those two heroes are 5 and 10 and 6 and 12 in games that go beyond 45 minutes. I think this game goes one more Roche cycle, and VP could have easily won this.
It is quite dangerous. I think there is lineups like this with Templar Assassin, who's traditionally a hero that says, like, okay, we have to end the game by like 40, 45 minutes. I think in this current era, it does scale a little bit better into late game than it used to, but it definitely will fall off. And this Juggernaut and this Invoker, like, they're just going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on. So I do agree that if Liquid, if they, say, dove the base again like this, it's entirely possible that VP managed to split push the lanes out and just kind of slow down the game enough that they get to their big level 20, 25s, and Invoker just tries to carry the game single-handedly.
Yeah, they weren't far away. The Invoker and the Juggernaut both got to 24 in this game. Wasn't that far away, as you said. Another 5-10 minutes, maybe. Another Roche.
And you can see, despite VP feeling like they're on the back foot for most of the game, Invoker and Jug are up there in the top 3 in net worth for most of the contest. I cannot say enough about how well Solo played the Bane. Again, it sounds like a broken record. We say this every game. That Bane Invoker dual lane, it's a little better since the mana cost on Invoke was removed in the last patch, but that is not an easy 2v2. Invoker feels like a range creep for a lot of the first part of the game. They played that very well. Solo rotated up top, was a part of the first kill on the Visage, as well as securing that mid lane for the Invoker. I think if this is not the best Bane player in the world, that this game ends much faster.
Yeah, they will be finding no disagreement from our panel on that one, that's for sure. Matumba Man on the Visage?
Looked good. He had a couple of very sick plays. There was that one by the Radiant Secret Shop where he just lived with a sliver of HP just through his familiar control, I think, throughout the game. He had very good micro. And he went to BKB a little bit later on. We were talking about that a bit. I thought it was kind of interesting.
It's not terrible. Like, generally, you don't see Visage as a good like, BKB carrier, but I guess in this game it makes sense too, with the Deafening Blast. Can't really hit anymore.
Is that more about who he's playing?
Yeah.
A lot.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, you look at this fight and just how close VP managed to make this fight despite Liquid making use of both the Aegis and the Cheese. They need every bit of that Roshan advantage to take what proved to be the game-clinching fight.
Yeah, because it was almost a critical mass that VP reached where they wouldn't be able to fight anymore.
It's funny, the reactions, looking at the players all taking their headsets off, because all of them, there's very little emotion there other than, you know, VP obviously a little bit down because they lost that one, but not much. But Liquid not celebrating in there either.
Look at
like,
the face of the temperament.
They've had a tough game
That's
in there.
relief.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? 1-0, how did we pull that one off? Thank God for that.
What did Kuroko say? The less, and I quote, I would never say these words otherwise, the less fucks we give, the better we play.
Yeah. And they probably care quite a bit for this grand final.
Yeah.
So
both teams do. They both want to win this final major of the season. Liquid for the first time and VP for the 5th time this season, obviously taking over from OG with the most major championships. That is the Game 1 scoreboard right now. Miracle 11-3 and 14 is one of the highlights. Matuma Man also 12, 5 and 15 on the Visage, having a very good game on Team Liquid. MVP, boys, who would you like for this one?
Matu?
Sure.
27 out of 34 team kills, not too bad.
I mean, the problem with this game is I feel they all played really well together. It's very hard to pick up one. But I think his familiar control was really good this game. It saved him a couple of fights, a couple of kills.
It's the nature of this lineup, the way that Liquid drafted it, is that they are going to hit this like it feels like unstoppable 5-man. Virtus Pro did kind of, of course, there was the base dive that kind of got them back into the game and such, and they did manage to get some pretty farm Juggernaut and Invoker, but it felt like this sort of lineup is just going to play around each other quite a bit, and so there's not going to be that kind of really big standout performance from one person destroying the game, because it's a lineup that's just 5-mans into the enemy.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Okay, over 20k damage in that one, over half the average normally done. With the Visage, 1-0 then for Team Liquid as we head to a break. The players will be back to the arena very shortly and getting themselves ready for game number 2. Virtus Pro with a couple of questions to answer, but it's going to be a tight affair all the way through. We'll see you in a few.
I don't wanna play this game. And every time I hear your name, so good, so good, so good. It's something that I can't explain. I don't wanna play this game. And every time I hear your name, so good, so good, so good. So good.